The silence was the loudest thing aboard the Odyssey. For Cale, the starship's sole occupant, it was a constant companion on his years-long journey through the void. Days and nights blurred into an endless cycle of system checks, food rations, and staring into the infinite, star-strewn abyss. He was the loneliest man in the universe. It started with a sound, a faint, dragging scrape from the depths of the ship, where no one should be. The cargo bay. Cale paused, listening. Nothing. Probably just the groaning of metal adjusting to the cold of space. He dismissed it, but a tiny seed of unease had been planted. Later, during a routine diagnostic, an image flickered on his monitor. The external camera on Sensor Delta showed a glitch for a fraction of a second. In that moment, Cale thought he saw a long, thin shape clinging to the ship's hull. He rewound the recording. Nothing. Just the star-dusted black. A data corruption, he told himself. Just a glitch. The paranoia began to spread like a cold gas. He checked the life support systems, even though he knew they were functioning perfectly. He asked the ship's AI if it had registered any anomalies. All systems nominal, the calm, synthetic voice replied, which unsettled him more than it reassured him. The scraping came again, louder this time, and it sounded like it was coming from just behind the wall. Something had moved. A wrench he had secured tightly to a workbench in the maintenance shaft was now lying on the floor at the other end of the room. He knew with absolute certainty that he had not put it there. There were no vibrations that could have moved it. The feeling of not being alone became a suffocating certainty. Enough. He had to see. With a pounding heart, he put on his pressure suit. He would go to the cargo bay. The long corridor leading there, usually a familiar path, was now a tunnel of lurking shadows and the eerie echoes of his own footsteps. Every dark corner seemed to breathe. He reached the heavy blast door of the cargo bay. The electronic lock was unresponsive. Manual override. With all his strength, he turned the heavy wheel that released the bolts. A loud hiss as the pressure equalized. The scraping was now clearly audible from inside, a desperate scrabbling of metal on metal. The door creaked open a crack. Beyond it was absolute darkness, impenetrable to the faint light of the corridor. A strange, organic smell wafted out, a stench of decay and something unknown. The scraping stopped abruptly. In its place was a new sound, a wet, rhythmic clicking. He forced himself to aim the flashlight into the darkness. The beam danced across the walls and caught something. Not the smooth surface of a container. It was a pale, chitinous texture, huge and wedged between the cargo crates. And then he saw the scratches. Long, deep gouges in the metal of the door, from the inside. It had been trying to get out. The clicking grew faster, closer. With a jolt, Cale realized it was no longer coming from the cargo bay. It was coming from the radio in his helmet. A distorted voice, barely more than a whisper in the static. It was his own voice, repeating a single, impossible sentence. "Let me in." He stared into the dark, reflective surface of his visor. And from the darkness, something stared back that had his eyes, but was not him.